Formed during the Early Cretaceous period, the Yixian Formation in northeastern China is famous for containing fossils of numerous feathered dinosaurs, including many of the first birds. But as dinosaurs were just beginning to take flight, the freshwater lakes below them were home to a very different type of animal. Named Hyphalosaurus, this aquatic reptile looks similar to the Paleoenvironment from the Triassic period, or for a less obscure comparison, like a cross between a lizard, a newt, and a plesiosaur. Hyphalosaurus is known from thousands of fossils, more than any other reptile from the Yixian Formation, resulting in it being the best understood species in a formation that already contains exceptional fossils. Unlike many of the more famous marine reptiles, Hyphalosaurus was small, only about 80 centimeters long. Its neck was about the same length as its entire abdomen, while the tail was even longer. Hyphalosaurus consisted of two species, the type species, Hyphalosaurus linguinensis, and Hyphalosaurus betaeugiganensis, which is the species known for the most specimens. While both are from the Yixian Formation, Hyphalosaurus betaeugiganensis lived after Hyphalosaurus linguinensis, who may have been its direct ancestor. They were very similar to each other in most respects, though Hyphalosaurus linguinensis had 19 neck vertebrae, while Hyphalosaurus betaeugiganensis had 26. With so many vertebrae, the necks of both species would have been very flexible. As one would expect from a species with such long necks, Hyphalosaurus's head was small, though this was less extreme in juveniles. Inside its small, flattened skull were sharp, peg-like teeth. As befitting an aquatic animal, its feet were webbed. Like crocodilians, its tail was deep and flattened, with soft tissue further increasing the height of the tail. This resulted in a tail very well adapted for swimming, though it would have been somewhat awkward on the surface, a problem intensified by its long neck. Therefore, it likely didn't come ashore that often, if at all. It is therefore no surprise that all Hyphalosaurus fossils are preserved in deep, freshwater lake environments alongside other deepwater fauna. This is not merely a case of preservation bias, as Hyphalosaurus is known from numerous specimens and is absent from shallower waters in the Yixian Formation. Despite their resemblance to each other, Hyphalosaurus was not closely related to the pachyplerosaurs, plesiosaurs, or any other of the famous Mesozoic marine reptiles, nor was it closely related to lizards or the contemporary dinosaurs. Instead, it was part of an obscure clade of reptiles named Choristoderan. Like Hyphalosaurus, other Choristoderans were aquatic, freshwater reptiles. While some Choristoderans could come ashore, in some species only the females could, and some were entirely restricted to the water. This was far from the only difference they had from each other. Despite their obscurity, the Choristoderans were very diverse. Some looked similar to lizards, including Monjurosuchus, a contemporary of Hyphalosaurus. Others, such as Shokawa, looked more like Hyphalosaurus. Some of the other Choristoderans, like Champsosaurus, instead converged on a crocodilian-like shape. Despite this, they were not closely related to crocodilians either. Indeed, Choristodera was not closely related to any known group of reptiles, living or extinct. The ancestors of the Choristoderans seem to have diverged from the other reptile lineages during the Permian period. While most Choristoderans are ambush predators, Hyphalosaurus is thought to have been an exception, as long necks are more common in pursuit predators. As for what it was hunting, prey size would have been limited by Hyphalosaurus's proportionately small head. While known from thousands of specimens, only one Hyphalosaurus skeleton has been verified to have preserved gut contents, the ribs of a small fish. However, if fish were a common component of Hyphalosaurus's diet, it would be expected such finds would be much more common. One possibility is there has simply not been enough research to examine Hyphalosaurus fossils for such gut contents. Another is that Hyphalosaurus may have primarily hunted soft-bodied invertebrates that wouldn't leave identifiable remains. While its diet may remain shrouded in mystery, there are enough Hyphalosaurus specimens to identify a rare birth defect. A very young Hyphalosaurus, either a newborn or a late-stage embryo, is preserved with two heads, each with its own neck. While very uncommon, living reptiles have been found with two heads. However, This Hyphalosaurus is the only known case of such a mutation present in a fossil reptile. While impressive when it comes to health, possessing two heads is not better than one. Two-headed individuals are only likely to live long in captivity. In the case of the two-headed Hyphalosaurus, if it wasn't outright stillborn, it died not long after birth. And despite being a reptile, birth is at least as an appropriate term as hatch for a Hyphalosaurus. Like many prehistoric marine reptiles, they also gave birth to live young as opposed to laying eggs on the shore. Unlike placental mammals, this was achieved by retaining the soft-shelled eggs inside the mother until they were ready to hatch. Most marine reptiles who gave birth to live young did so to avoid having to come to shore at all, which allowed them to become fully aquatic. Given how Hyphalosaurus lived in deep lakes, it likely evolved live birth for similar reasons, perhaps only coming to the surface to breathe. While smaller than many dinosaurs and marine reptiles during the Mesozoic era, Hyphalosaurus filled an important role in its ecosystem. It also demonstrates that the age of reptiles was even more diverse than is commonly thought. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something interesting. Have a great day, and if you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit the like button.